All right, good evening, nerds around the world. Welcome to episode 135, part 2 of the Nerds Unite as One podcast. I'm your host, Paul English, and as you guessed, this is a continuation of episode 135 of the show. We were counting down our top 5 favorite season finales in television history a couple of weeks ago. The connection got interrupted, we got dropped, and weren't able to finish, so we're here tonight to finish it up. Topics the same, and of course we have the same panel from last time. I'll go a quick introduction. It's Caleb, Chris, Colton, and Mike. Pleasure to have you back here, gentlemen. Jack is not here, unfortunately, but that's all right. He gave us permission to go on without him, and hopefully he gets his schedule adjusted so he's available every Saturday night now to be here with us. And let's not waste any more time. Let's jump in. So I believe before we broke last time, Chris was about to list his number 3 pick, so that's where we will pick this up. So, Chris, go ahead. You know what? I didn't hear your pick because I left before you came on. Could you quickly tell me what number 5 and 4 were on your list?
I was myself about to recap my picks were last time. Number 5 for me was the season 5 finale of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Call to Arms.
Holy shit, that was my pick.
You know, I mean, because you and I. I was gonna say, number 4 was the season 2 finale of the reboot of Star Trek. Reboot of Battlestar Galactica. Lay Down Your Burdens, Part 2.
Okay. All right. So then now go ahead with number 3 then.
What I said, I had Lay Down Your Burdens. Oh, clap. Can you just give me a moment?
Colton, what's number 3 in your list?
Okay. You really want me to... all right. Number 3 on my list. So one of my favorite shows of the last few years was ABC's sitcom The Middle. And I love that show because it's just about this family that's the Hex that are just always on tough times and what have you. They can never really catch a break until the season 5 finale where in season 5, the daughter Sue, she winds up winning the family a trip to go to Disney World. And so, because, ABC, it's a tradition. They always have to get someone to go to Disney World and whatnot. So it's the Heck family's turn. And I really can't talk about this episode without spoiling all the best gags. So I'll just give away the first gag and I'll leave the rest to your imagination. But the funniest thing about the opening gag for the episode is that when they get to Disney World and after going through the road trip from hell, which involved them driving 9 hours out of their way to see their son's internet girlfriend, but when they get to Disney World, they find out that the passes they got were actually for Disneyland, and the Hex were not pleased about that. They were like wondering, how the heck did we not notice this was for Disneyland and not Disney World? And they tried to, sneak into the park, and then they eventually decided to beg the people at the park officials to let them in. And much to their surprise, they actually do. But the trip does not get any better for them. It's just one disaster after the next. It's absolutely hilarious. And probably the funniest part is that when they get to their hotel and experience the ultimate culture shock. Again, I'm not going to spoil any of the gags for you, but it's just great seeing this down on their luck family suddenly getting to experience just a tiny bit of the good life for once and not being able to do anything with it without getting screwed.
Okay, all right. Chris had to bail for a second. Hopefully he comes back. But in the meantime, Mike, I'm coming to you. Give me number 3 on your list.
All right, my number 3 is the 3rd season finale of Star Trek The Next Generation, Best of Both Worlds, Part 1.
Nice pick.
I mean, I still distinctly remember watching that episode. It was, first of all, it's a fantastic episode all the way through. But then, boom, a Borg teleports to the bridge of the Enterprise, kidnaps Captain Picard, and vanishes. And then, they go hunting through the Borg cube. They find his uniform. And then they see him, and boom, he's a Borg. And, they escape to get back to the Enterprise. And Picard, or the Cutis of Borg, starts talking to him through the view screen saying, you will all be assimilated. And, they've been building this huge plan, and it just focuses on Riker, and he says, Mr. Worf, fire. End of the episode. I'm like, dude, I have to wait another 3 months for this? What the hell? Oh, that was some of the longest months I have ever had to deal with. To find, like, dude, Captain Picard is a Borg, and Riker just ordered that he's going to be killed. What's going to happen?
Wasn't that episode like actually made with Patrick Stewart's fate like not certain, so he could have actually been killed off?
Oh yeah.
Imagine if he actually decided to leave and they did get rid of Picard.
It would not have been the same show. I don't think it would have been as good.
Yeah. I'm Picard. I mean, Picard is to the Next Generation what Kirk was to the original. Without him, it would have been a completely different show, and I don't think it would have been as good because Patrick Stewart was really an anchor for that show. But still, that finale was just so amazing in internable. I mean, the cliffhanger ending was just one of the best I've ever seen. So, yeah, that's why it's my number 3.
Absolutely. Caleb, if you can hear us, why don't you give us number 3 on your list?
Okay, Paul, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Okay, so my first 2 picks, Paul, are very cliche. Anyone that knows me. This next pick is actually kind of surprising. It's a show that I've gotten into recently, and that would be Supernatural. I debated which one to go with because I've seen up to like season like 10 or 11 now. I'm kind of behind, but I had to go with the season 1 finale. Season 1 where you meet these characters, Sam and Dean. You fall in love with them. You meet their dad. And then I'm not gonna spoil like what happens and stuff. It sucks you in. It's an amazing show for anyone who's on the fence about it. It's a really good show. So check it out. So my number 3, Paul, is a Supernatural season 1 finale.
All right, very nice. Okay, Chris is back. Do you have your list ready?
Yes. I mean, sorry, guys. Just really, just had to do other things. As I was doing the recap of my list from 2 weeks ago, number 3 was my number 3 choice was the Simpsons season 6 finale. Who Shot Mr. Burns?
Oh, dude, a classic.
Simultaneously funny, equal parts funny, and on nail biting to a certain degree. I mean, you can help, but it's the Simpsons at its best. With its dose of irreverent and rather ridiculous and bizarre, and sometimes bizarre humor because you have Springfield Elementary sending on a geyser of oil. Mr. Burns and all his greediness and all his vanity and his ruthlessness wants to take the oil, and so everyone has a vendetta against Mr. Burns, including Homer, because we all know Homer has the most petty, most ridiculous. I can't remember my name.
Who's that blundering beefhead in Section 7D?
That episode almost made my list. It was just barely.
Yeah, there's a great deal of intensity, which is rare for a Simpsons episode, and this is event television. And this is something the Simpsons should have done more often, even though the resolution wasn't quite as satisfying. But this one was it's a plum with just like droll humor. It's just one of the Simpsons' finest. I mean, it's just a great episode.
All right, very good. Okay, so number 3 on my list is World's End from season 4 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, I know that I told Caleb this a couple weeks ago when we hung out, and he seemed kind of mortified. As you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got off to a pretty piss-poor start and first half of season 1, but ever since then, it has gotten better and better and better. And I'm going to tell you this right now, in my honest opinion, and you know how much of an unapologetic CW Arrowverse fanboy I am. I thought season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was better than every Arrowverse show on that year. No joke.
I share those sentiments, brother.
And this episode right here was a culmination of such a phenomenal season. First of all, we get to see Ghost Rider again, and I fucking loved Ghost Rider in this season. We see just how ruthless the LMDs were. I mean, everything about it, the action, the suspense, and it was almost scary at times. I mean, I could not have imagined a better way to end an absolutely phenomenal season. This is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at its best. And yeah, season 5, minor stumble, still a fantastic season, but season 4 was its peak. Holy shit, it was unfucking believable. And yeah, and then not to mention the cliffhanger of what's going to happen, where you see them up in space. Like, what happened? Where are they? What's going on? So yeah, guys, I feel sorry for everyone who stopped watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. halfway through season 1 because it just got picked up so much after Winter Soldier, and it got better and better and better. And this season was so superb. It was so well done in every facet. There was no slow point whatsoever. There was no one single episode I thought, oh my God, this is not necessary. Every episode felt necessary. Every character was necessary. Every growth felt real. It was such a perfectly made season. So definitely check out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just to get to this season. It is so well done.
Don't forget about the acting. I think it was like the best of the entire series.
Yeah, probably.
I just think that show is better than those Arrowverse shows altogether. Just felt.
Well, it was that year, that's for sure. And I thought, and I loved season 5 of Arrow. I thought it was great, but yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Colton, I'm going to come to you now. Give me number 2 on your list.
Number 2 on my list is the season 1 finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The beginning of the end. So when it comes to the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's actually not so bad in hindsight once you know all the twists and everything, and you go back and you suddenly realize how things are adding up. But yeah, I agree with you that once the Winter Soldier came out, that's when the show really picked up. I really started falling in love with everything, like all the characters, all the action was so better improved, and it all came to a head in this episode. Let me tell you, in the first when the show premiered, Fitz and Simmons were my least favorite characters. I hated them. I thought they were too goofy, and yet when we found them, in mortal peril, I was really invested in them, and I was like, "Oh crap, they might actually die." And I was shocked by how much I actually grew to care about these characters that I did not like when the show started. But yeah, we got them in peril. We got for everybody and their mother knows about certain twists, but I want in the season 1 in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 1, but I will not spoil them just for all 2 of you that don't know. But the acting regarding Skye from Chloe Bennett, Brett Dalton, and everything regarding their relationship, it was great. And seeing Melinda and Coulson, he gets to be at it probably his most badass in that season, as we get to see the weapon that he used. Well, I'll brief spoiler, but the weapon that he used to shoot Loki with, it makes a return in this episode. And when he gets it, he's like, I know what it does. And then he goes to town on the bad guys. It was a great callback. It was great to see the culmination of the, just what Tahiti was all about in that episode as well. And the cliffhanger, well, it's better in hindsight, but it was mysterious for the most. It was mysterious, if kind of underwhelming, but still a good way to close things out after the thrill ride. And we got a couple new faces as well, like Trip. He was a good addition to the team too. I liked him as he grew to join up with our heroes' forces. And yeah. Season 1 finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's my number 2. It was a great action-packed thrill ride with plenty of emotion and a lot of great humor and great acting from our cast. It was the beginning of something far greater.
Indeed. All right, Mike, you are up next. Give me number 2 on your list.
Okay, my number 2 is from a show that probably, I'd be surprised if any of you have heard of, but I'd be pleasantly surprised if you have. It's a British sci-fi comedy called Red Dwarf.
I think I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
The season 6 finale was a cliffhanger. I mean, this show did not have a whole lot of cliffhangers, but the season 6 season finale was a cliffhanger, and it was a doozy. The crew, it's like basically follows this crew of like 4 people that are like lost 3 million years in space. And in this one, they meet up with the future versions of themselves, and they find out that the future versions of themselves are basically dicks. And they basically use a time machine that the current crew had just found, and they've been using it to kind of travel through time, but they've been meeting up with like people like Hitler and Mussolini and Stalin, and just enjoying like the finest things, and not caring about like the little people anymore, because they just want to experience all of the good things that the future has to offer, and most of the good things come in the form of people that are just really despicable and horrible. And so the modern crew just can't stand this, and so they try to stop their future selves, and the future selves start attacking the ship that the regular crew are on. And so it all comes down like only one of them is alive. He rushes down, he destroys the time drive just as the ship explodes, and it goes to be continued. And the worst part is the next season didn't premiere until 3 years later.
3 years? What happened?
There was like the main actor had some legal issues, so they weren't able to get around to filming the next season, and the next season didn't premiere until a little over 3 years later. So you think
you waited?
Yeah, if you thought that the finale of The Best of Both Worlds Part 1 was bad, and you had to wait 3 months till the finale,
we're waiting 3 fucking years.
Exactly. So that's why that's my number 2, because that wait was just interminable. Yeah. And honestly, the kind of payoff was not as cool as I was hoping for. It was a good season 7 was still good. It just the premiere didn't really live up to the hype.
Is Red Dwarf better than Doctor Who? I'm just kidding.
No. It's still funny though. If you get a chance, watch it. It's still very, especially the first like 4 or 5. I'll even give them 6 seasons that are really, really, truly hilarious.
Okay, Caleb, I'm coming to you next. What do you have for number 2 on your list?
Okay, so number 2 on my list, Paulie. It was number 1 for a while, but then only nostalgia could take this out of the number 1 spot. It's probably. Will you hush it up over there? Sorry. Anyway, this is probably my single favorite season of television that I've ever watched in my life, and of course I'm talking about The Flash, season 1, the finale. Season 1 is my favorite season of Flash. It's not even close. The cliffhanger at the end of the finale, I still remember sitting in my room screaming at the TV and being so pissed off that I had to wait and want to know what happened after everything that happened. I love that season, and it was such a good combination, and just so amazing that it had to be on the list somewhere. It just happened to fall at number 2. Like I said, it was number 1, but it got kicked off by one thing. So, but yeah, Flash season 1. If for some reason anybody who watches this has not seen Flash, what the fuck are you doing? You at least watch season 1, please. It's so good. Yeah. So, Flash season 1, the finale, Paulie, is my number 2.
Okay, then. Chris, you're up. Give me number 2 on your list.
Okay, my number 2 is the season 3 finale of Star Trek: The Next Generation. The best.
I got a feeling it's going to show up on a lot of lists.
I mean, it would be poor. When it comes to TV cliffhangers, the list would be poor if you didn't have this episode on the list. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah. With this episode, you have Captain Picard and the crew of the Enterprise face off against the Borg, who these chilling half cybernetic, half organic beings that they faced off in the second season episode QQ, and now they are back again. And let's just say all shit hits the fan. This is like, yeah, as Riker said in his log, the devastation that they can bring is beyond imagination, and the stakes have never been raised higher. And talking about emotional stakes, narrative stakes, narrative boldness. Just like Trek couldn't. When is Trek ever going to be as? I'm not saying I like what we got from Star Trek, but in terms of narrative boldness, Trek needs to be bold again, and this is Trek at its boldest. I mean, it's just like the Borg had never been more scarier, more menacing, just because you had that unforgettable moment where Captain Picard is turned into Locutus the Borg, and he's and that ending moment where he's declaring the Borg's that the Borg will be dominating dominating the quadrant, and you have that little moment where Riker says, "Mr. Worf, fire," and then 3 months of waiting back in 1990. Yeah, just like this is just a. I mean, I don't think anything comes close. I mean, nothing has ever come close since it. This is such a masterpiece. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Speaking of which, number 2 on our list also happens to be the Best of Both Worlds Part 1 from Season 3 of Next Generation. I can't really add to what Mike and Chris have already said, already talked about. They've already mentioned it is one of the greatest season finale, if not single television episodes in television history. So rather than trying to explain even more why it's so good, yada yada, let me tell you about a little bit about just an example of the impact that this episode had on popular culture. About 11 years ago, I was watching this special on TV Guide Network, which was counting down the 100 most memorable moments in television history, whether it was from a show or live TV. If it was seen on television, it counted on the list. And there are some big events like Marcia from the Brady Bunch getting her nose bit drilled in by a football, or the Miracle on Ice, or the Hindenburg 9/11 Man on the Moon. There's some huge moments, but number 45 on that list, and 45th most memorable moment in television history, according to this countdown, was that moment in Next Generation Season 3, where Picard shows up as Locutus, telling the Enterprise crew, "You will be assimilated," and Riker just goes, "Mr. Worf, fire," and then that's it. So think of all of the moments that have ever occurred on television history, whether syndicate, whether scripted or live, to rank in the top 50. Consider how long that television has basically been around since the 40s, early 50s. For it to be that high, that gives you an idea of just the impact that episode had on America and even the world at large, who love Star Trek, and were like, "No, how can you do this?" I was born that year, and I can't tell you what I would give to take a time machine and go back in time to when that episode aired, just to hear the live reaction of people when that moment happens. So
if it were airing today, they would be filming live reactions of it on YouTube, and then they'll be going up on YouTube and stuff like that.
I have no doubt.
Social media
would be critics all over just going crazy.
Oh, Lord. He's like, what? You did what? How did you do? What was all that when he said fire?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my number 2. Of course. I mean, it had to, there's no way. It was actually almost number 1, believe me. This moment, it was actually almost number 1, but there was one thing that just slightly outdid it. But you'll find that out momentarily. But anyway, here we are, guys. We're at number 1. Let's wrap it up. Colton, you're up. What is your number 1 favorite TV show season finale?
We've all done two, Chris.
Huh?
And so we've all done our twos. All right. This was almost going to be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s first season finale, but this finale, it just had so much more emotion to it that it just won out in the end. And it is the season 5 finale of Lost, The Incident. So Lost is a bit of an acquired taste. It's something that we either really love or really hate. And I, for one, actually didn't really get into it until around season 3 when I heard about the cliffhanger it had. But I'm glad I started watching. When I got to season 5, the finale for that one, it was just, well, I won't get into spoilers, but our heroes, they think they might have found a way to get themselves off the island for good, but doing so, it will change their lives forever, and not in the most positive of ways. But they feel like this is their only chance, because if they don't, they could all possibly die due to some very, very weird shit that's been happening on the island, which is even weird by Lost standards. And the emotion from all the characters is really on point. Like, some of them, there's a bit of a divide between some of them that want to take their chances, some of them that want to go ahead and do what they can to get off the island, because some of them, Sawyer and Jack, they clash over this because in a bizarre twist, minor spoiler actually, but Sawyer is actually going to accustom to his life on the island when he was probably the one person that did not want to stay there out of everybody else in the first season finale. And even beats the crap out of Jack for wanting to ruin ruined the life he's made. And the final incident in the no pun intended in the episode titled "The Incident" is basically, I can basically sum it up as Pandora's box is open and it's not going to close. All hell breaks loose. People are getting injured left and right. It all culminates in the last powerful moment from I won't spoil who. But she has a choice to make whether she can do the thing that will get everyone off the island or sit there and possibly die. And when she makes her decision, and then we cut to the title card saying Lost, to be continued next season, I'm like, are you kidding me? I was on the edge of my seat waiting to see what was going to happen, but it's there's a flash of light, and then bam, Lost. Next season, and next season was the final season of Lost, and it was even more bizarre, but it really paid up. But what we saw, it was a pretty good follow-up to that season 5 cliffhanger. It was some very great acting. It was probably some of the most emotional stuff that we've seen from this series, and this show really knew how to pile on the emotion.
Okay, all right. I know how I watched the show. I watched Lost right from the beginning. I kind of stopped around middle of season 4. I fell too far behind. I just couldn't care less. And the thing that pissed me off about the finale is that right at the beginning, basically everyone I spoke to about the show, we all had the same fear about what was going on. J.J. Abrams goes out of his way to say, no, that's not it. That's not the twist. And that's not the twist. That's not where they really are. Only for the finale for him to go, yeah, that's exactly where they were. So I'm like, fuck you, J.J. Seriously? You're going to do that?
Well, I can't blame a guy for, wanting to lie to the audience about having figured it out, because that would kind of kill the anticipation.
Oh, come on. Abrams has ever done that before. Come on. Come on.
Actually, that was my first introduction to J.J. Abrams.
Mine too.
Show.
Right.
So if he's done stuff before that I lost, I don't know about it.
The first intro
He did Alias before that.
Oh, okay.
Well, Alias is a fantastic show.
All right, Mike, it's your turn. What's number 1 on your list?
Yeah, my number 1. I'm double picking from a series here, but I can't help it because Star Trek: Next Generation, the season 7 series finale.
All good things. Beautiful ending.
I have said it before, and I have yet to be proven for myself wrong. This is my favorite series finale of all time. I mean, the way it wraps it, it comes full circle to what happened in the pilot episode and the trial that Q put them through, and then just the jumping back and forth between the past, the present, and the future, and Picard's just the way he manages to solve the problem and prove to Q that humanity is worth saving, is just brilliant. And then just the quiet final moment of all the crew are having their little poker game, and the door opens, and Picard walks in. He's never been in the poker game before, and he
Can I
says,
join you?
"May I join you?" He's like, "You are always welcome."
Yeah.
He sits down. It's like, "Okay, five card stud, Joker's wild, and
Nothing wrong. The sky's the limit.
the sky's the limit." That is
Beautiful. Beautiful.
There's never been a final line of a series that, for me, has topped and has so perfectly encapsulated an entire series in a single line. And as soon as I saw that episode, I was like, this is my favorite series finale of all time. And so far, nothing has ever come close to even topping that for me.
I mean, yeah. Just I get a lump in my throat every time I watch this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It is a very emotional finale.
It's beautifully done, and it is brilliant, and it is perfect, and it is my number one.
You're not going to get an argument from me about it. It's a very emotional ending. All right, Caleb, you said that nostalgia push this one over the top. So I have a feeling I know what it is, but let's hear it from you. What is your number one favorite season finale?
All right. Mike just had this great, about how it's really good. It's sophisticated. Mine's not sophisticated at all. Like when I was 9 years old, I'm just a little kid watching a silly kid show and cried because one of my childhood heroes died in order to save the universe. Wow, Kip, that just sounds so in depth. Yes, Countdown to Destruction.
I called it. I knew it.
Power Rangers in Space.
Yeah, I had a feeling I was going to be.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that Andros destroyed Zordon's tube and he was literally gone, and he purified the universe. And I cried like a little baby to my mommy and daddy because Zordon was dead, and they told me to be quiet. So listen, I grew up watching Power Rangers. I grew up loving that show. Anyone that knows me knows how much I love that show. Like he and Elijah watched it together. It's my childhood, and watching that happen, it still gives me chills when I watch it now. And the entire season was amazing, and it built up to that. It just so unbelievable. And again, nostalgia. Like, I just remember watching it, and it just left a lasting impact on me because it was truly the end of an era. Just an unbelievable finish. And I'll never forget it. So
yeah.
So Power Rangers in Space, like Countdown to Destruction. Heart 2 is my choice for number one.
It's a good choice.
Yeah. I don't know if I can't remember if I got cut off before I finished this thought. Chris, if you
What'd you say, Chris?
What the he knows what he said. He's paying for it. Don't you just Countdown to Destruction. Okay, while we watch him rant, I can't remember if I got cut off before I finished this. I want to say, like, for those who don't know this, In Space is actually supposed to be the end of Power Rangers. Like, it was supposed to end after that. And honestly, if that had been it, I think I would have been all right with it because it just ended so perfectly. Like, I'm glad it's still around for the current generation to enjoy, to fall in love with it the way we did. But if that had been the end of it, I think it ended on such a high note. I would have been just fine with it. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I don't know about Mike and Caleb. But I mean, yeah, that's how I feel.
I can understand that. I mean,
I can't wait to get that parent. I'm gonna be Paulie Wire to you. I'm gonna teach him.
I mean, after that season, it was like after that season, we pretty much it's been more or less standalone afterwards. I mean, the Zordon era is the only era with like direct continuity and all that jazz. So I can understand like being fine with the Zordon era being it. And though I do ironically
I like a lot of the standalone seasons that came after. You know, I like Lost Galaxy. I love Lightspeed Rescue, but it's just something about that era and how much like it like meant to me. And just it was just an end of an era, and it was just so incredible. So
yeah, it meant a lot to everyone. It was great that in the end it was, since we were by that point there were like all the Rangers had been replaced. It was only fitting that the one that would be the one to save us all would in fact be Zordon by sacrificing himself.
Yep.
All right, Chris, you're up next. Give me number 1 on your list.
Okay. All right. Okay. My number 1 is the season 3 finale of Lost Through the Looking Glass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never even heard of that show.
Never
even heard of that show.
Yes.
He said Lost.
He said Lost, Paul. He said Lost.
Okay,
I was
okay.
like, wait,
when he said Through the Looking Glass, I'm like, wait, Lost Through the Looking Glass? What show is that? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's the episode's title. Yeah, and of all the season finales, just like I don't think anything has quite lived up to this. I mean, the series Lost itself is like a one long movie full of twists. But this is a prime example of what made that series work. Just the suspense, the writing, the acting, everything like that. You have Jack and having Jack and the survivors of Oceanic Flight 815 trying to get onto a freighter so they can get off the island. I just like the structure, the narrative, everything everything is just top notch, and then you have that final twist of it. Oh my god, that was game changing. Nobody would have known. That was a real genuine surprise. I mean, this show was must-watch television. You know, just like it was. I mean, you can so get into it. It's just like, I mean, but yeah, this is why, like I said, this is one of the prime examples of what made that series so acclaimed. I mean, it's gripping. It's gripping. It's heart. I mean, it's heart racing. I mean, you won't find a better finale than that. It's just like I don't think. I mean, I get to find a season finale or any kind of finale that matches up to the brilliance of what the season 3 finale this series brought. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, Paul. Real quick before you go, I'm shocked that we have 2 seasons of Lost on our countdown. I'm like kind of like as the number 1. I'm like so shocked right now. But hey, I've never seen it, guys. So you guys kind of got me intrigued. I should check it out.
Yeah,
it's on Netflix. I
recommend it myself.
Right.
So okay.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. Go ahead, bud. What's your number 1?
Yeah, you guys are definitely going to find this shocking and maybe even controversial. I'm asking you to hear me out and let me explain why before you judge me. Number 1 on my list, and it just edged out Best of Both Worlds. Number 1, the good, the bad, and the cuddly from season 3 of DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
Are you high?
Wow.
Here's why. First of all, here's why it edges it out. Here's why it reaches number 1. First of all,
are you a crack?
First of all, it automatically starts off on a tension note with a founding member dying. I'm like, oh shit, you're already cranking up the tension to 11. Resolution from some fan favorite characters, which was such a pleasure to see. But what really sets it over the park was the final climactic battle between the Legends and the big bad for the season, the Demon Mollusk. The way the Legends come up with the weapon needed to defeat this guy and the battle that ensued as a result of it. I have never seen a battle or any scene that's so perfectly meshed, intense, groundbreaking action with gut-busting hilarity. I was so, at the same time, eyes glued but laughing my ass off by the time the battle was over, I was so enthralled by the epicness that I had just seen, but at the same time, I was laughing so hard I could not breathe. I had to keep pausing it because I had to catch my breath. That is how hard I was laughing.
Did you say groundbreaking? Did you say groundbreaking?
Listen.
I'm not making this up. I have never seen anything like this in television history. Such a beautiful, beautiful combination of action and comedy.
You are a crackpot.
Yeah, you know what? I don't care. I fucking love.
Hey, it's his opinion. It's what he's, it's what he likes. Hey,
To be
I haven't
fair,
seen
this
it.
is
So.
why, this is why I think Legends might be my favorite Arrowverse show because it can do these things so perfectly. I'm not saying like other people, but I mean this. Oh my god!
Wait, Legends over Flash though? I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, Legend. When I watched like the first season of Legends, and he's right. It toes a very interesting and fine line between comedy and action, but it does it very, very well. It does a really good job with it.
Yeah, and it keeps that going through season 2, and then like I said, season 3. Oh my god! And then of course the twist at the end, and knowing that Constantine is going to be a regular team member on season 4. So I'm like, okay, that's going to add something. But I mean, yeah, that final battle, that battle alone is what made this episode number 1 on my list. A perfect combination of intense action and gut-busting comedy. I've never seen that before in my life, and I don't think I'll ever see that again. So it's a beautifully well done line crossing that.
Wow.
So yeah, guys, definitely check out Legends of Tomorrow. It is such a great show. It is so underrated. I love this show. And that finale, number 1 right there.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I don't even know what to say right now.
Yes.
I'm shocked.
I kind of want to see this episode.
Shocked, Paulie. I'm literally shocked. Wow. Okay.
All right, guys.
Wow.
So I apologize it took 2 episodes for us to do this, but that's it. Our top 5 favorite television season finales in TV history. We want to thank you guys for tuning in on us. Like I said, I apologize. It took us 2 episodes to do it, but hopefully that won't happen again. And I'd like to thank this incredible panel for being here. Colton, it was a pleasure having you here.
Woo!
Mike, my friend, pleasure as always.
Live long and prosper.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Chris, a pleasure having you here.
Are you crackpot? I'm just kidding. This is great. It's crazy. Just kidding.
And Caleb, my man, 3 episodes in a row. You haven't done that. I don't think you've done that since we started this whole thing.
Oh, stop. Come on now. Nah, Paul, it's good to be back. Again, I'm still working on better lighting. We'll get there. Just haven't had a chance to get that stuff yet, but we're working on it. I'm excited for next week because I'll be able to put plenty of time into my list. And quick shout out, I want to give a congratulations to the Boston Red Sox for winning the World Series. I just want everyone to know. Yeah.
Pussies!
Just real quick, to our resident Yankee fan,
You suck.
So, Chris, exactly how far did the Yankees make it in the playoff run?
I just played that. I know, really. Yankees.
Oh my God, Chris! Guess what? You and the Yankees watched the World Series in the same place on your couch on your TV. Oh, that must have been great.
I'm not really a Yankees fan.
You're a liar. You are such a Yankees fan.
What? I just
a liar.
Motherfucker.
No.
You lying piece of shit. You just keep standing by me. You're a loser.
All right. Anyway, guys. Continue. All right, Paul.
That's why you're David
Bring us
Ortiz's
home.
bitch.
All right, guys. So
Bring us home.
we don't know exactly what we're going to be doing next week, but we will have a show next week. We do have a couple options. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.